Okay, here we go. Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is Dom, aka KT Tuna, coming back to you guys again for another video. So today, I've got a pretty special treat for you guys. I am interviewing a real live 42 Alpha, active duty 42 Alpha, straight from the jungle. I have brought Miss Hines with me today. Thank you, Miss Hines, for stopping by the channel.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, no problem, no problem. So, jump straight into it. What is a 42 Alpha? Like what is that? What do you guys do? Play with computers or something?
They call us the paper pushers, but I'm a human resource specialist. That's what a 42 Alpha is.
Okay, human resource specialist. I think I can get down with that. I think I can get down with that. So what is your rank? Are you like a PFC, a sergeant, a PV1? How does it work? What's your rank?
I'm a specialist.
You're a specialist. Okay. How long have you been at the current job that you're at right now?
I've been at the current job I'm at right now for about a year, but I've been enlisted for over 3 years now.
Okay, cool. So what made you pick 42 Alpha out of all the jobs out there? 92 golf, 92 golf, 92 golf, you know. So what made you pick something that's not in the Quartermaster series? So I mean, what's up? Why did you pick that?
Well, I wanted something that correlated with my education when I joined the military. So my undergraduate degree is in business marketing, and I knew I wanted to get my master's in business administration. So I wanted something that can A, translate over to the civilian sector, and B, that can relate to my education goals. So that's why I chose 42 Alpha. Even though I didn't just get the 42 Alpha job, I was technically supposed to be 35 series.
35 series. Okay. Still not Quartermaster, but I'm not gonna brag on me. I'm not gonna brag on you. So if you were to go a day in the life of Specialist Hines, right? What would it look like? What is your day-to-day life like in your job? Can you bring us through what a typical day is for you?
So just like every other MOS and every other soldier, you have typical PT formation and PT, conduct PT in the morning. After PT, your job as a 42 Alpha, you have to also do per stats, which per stats is basically just personnel reports you're sending up to your commanders and to your leaders regarding all the personnel who are present for duty, who are failure to reports and so forth. Once you report that to your commanders in the morning, that's your first thing report you want to send out. Your day-to-day is basically just updating soldiers' records, making sure that you help soldiers out with customer service needs. That could be anything as far as from just getting soldiers ready for their board files, career progression questions, personal questions. You answer those also. Customer service can be a variety of different things, awards. So there's a lot of different things you do as a 42 Alpha on the day-to-day basis that are broken down between different soldiers. Each soldier is usually in charge of a certain section. So right now, I currently work on awards and actions. So that means that I process awards, and I will also process making sure 638s. I will print out certificates, present it to the leaders so that they can present it to their soldiers. I will also do actions, which are 4187s. That means like 4187s are just personnel action form to submit if a soldier needs to do a deletion of orders, deferments. It could be to start your BAH, which is just your basic allowance for housing, or to start your BAS, which is just your subsistence allowance. So any personnel actions, basically that's your 42 Alpha. So you have to always come to them for any actions that you need.
Cool. Okay. So you told me a lot of different things about your day-to-day life. What would you say are your general responsibilities, right? What would you say if you were to maybe sum up maybe like 3 or 4 things possibly? What would you say are your general things that a 42 Alpha is responsible for every day?
All right. So I would say definitely one would be personnel accountability.
Okay.
Making sure that you have accountability of all the soldiers in your unit. Um, which usually for 42 Alpha, you work at a battalion level or higher, which means that you're working with up to, at the very least, probably three to 400 people you're accounting for, up to 1,000. or if you're working at even a division level, you will work up to 17,000 people that you're accounting for. Um, so your personal accountability is the most important part. Also, strength management. So strength management is just basically um, so soldiers would know where to go within the units. So that could be where would I send this 91 Bravo? Where would I send this 92 Golf? What units need what personnel at the current time and moment? So that's personnel strength that you're in charge of. Then you have just typical like awards and decorations and career progression. So I would say those are the main focuses and things that a 42 Alpha will focus on.
Fancy, fancy, fancy. What would you say are the benefits to being a 42 Alpha? Are there any benefits to your job, or you just sit behind a computer and do actions?
I definitely think a 42 Alpha has its perks. In the sense it is kind of like any job. I think is what you make of it. Um, Definitely as a 42 Alpha, you're a face that mostly everybody in your unit sees. So that means if you build good relationships as 42 Alpha, I think you would get very far. Also, your leadership usually knows who you are because we work really close-handedly with our leadership, whether that's your company commander, your battalion commander, your sergeant major, battalion sergeant majors, and so forth. So everybody usually knows who you are. You're a familiar face because everybody has come to you for personnel actions and anything that they need to get done. So I would say building relationship as 42 Alpha is definitely a perk that would get you far especially if you want to be in the military for a long time, if you want to do 20 years in the military. Also, I would say another perk is simply just having access to a computer. I know that sounds like something that's so simple, but you would not believe how many soldiers just like come up to us and just like, can I just use your computer so I can just print out my ERB, my records real quick so I can get this done? Because some soldiers, even in the motor pool, they don't have that access. So sometimes it's harder for them to be able to get what they need to get done as far as personally, like their personal actions and career progression things that they need to do. So yeah, take advantage of that. Do school, register for school, try to get some things done. I definitely say use that as a 42 Alpha. Um, yeah, and you're always usually the first person to know a lot of things because, as a 42, your job is also to make sure you know new regulations, changes in regulations, and also be able to inform soldiers about that. So you're usually the go-to person, and you usually know a lot of things before other soldiers find out about them.
Hmm. Definitely a lot of benefits in that job. What would you say you like the most, and would you say you like the least about your job?
I'll say I like the most I like being able to help people. Um, I like being able to help people in ways that are not expected. I mean, in the army, yeah, we all know about the HUA stuff, right? The combat related stuff, and sometimes the little things are really what matters, and soldiers don't realize that until they actually really need that kind of help. And being able to just help a soldier with something, whether that's just a promotion or getting promotion points or helping them with updating their records and them being so thankful for that, it's for me it's worth it. um,
Okay.
And definitely, I would say a negative you said, or something I don't like. I would definitely say it would be with that comes also with a lot of pressure as a 42 Alpha. You're expected to know a lot, and definitely as a 42 Alpha, you can't be that I don't know person. You got to be a person who has to always try to figure it out, even if you don't know it. So that could be a negative or a positive in effect because it makes you, more knowledgeable as a soldier. But at the same time, it's just a lot of pressure as far as you always having to keep yourself updated and try to figure things out even when things are tough or you don't understand it or you don't know it. So
Okay. Okay. Um, is there anything specific about your job that's exclusive to where you're stationed at that you would do differently from, say, I guess all the other bases, or anything that can only be done where you're at?
hmm,
I mean, if no, no. But
yeah. I would just say when you join the military, you experience different units, and the unit that I'm in, I would say specifically, is very unique. You have a whole bunch of different units that's inside the military that's specific. You have support units, you have units that focus on um, you have division staff, you have different things that you do that has different objectives. And I feel like each unit, you learn something different from them. That's what I could say for sure.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever been deployed before?
Yes, I have.
Is your job different when you get deployed?
I would definitely say a 42 Alpha's job is different. However, what I can say about a 42 Alpha, which I learned when I deployed, is that a 42 Alpha has different roles for in specialties. And what I learned when I was deployed is that as a 42 Alpha, you could be specialized, like I'm airborne specialized, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also have 42 Alphas who are specialized in just male, right? So those 42 Alphas, when they deploy, they focus primarily on just male. Their objective is to focus on is just the male room. While my job as a 42 Alpha when I was deployed was I had to be down at the flight line and out processing soldiers, accounting for all the soldiers that was in my area and reporting that up to higher ups, um, and making sure that I had that accountability and numbers right, so that everybody on my in my area can make sure they're fed properly, and we had enough space to make sure they could sleep. I also was in charge of accommodations for sleeping arrangements and that could be for people of all different types of ranks. Um, so that was difficult, especially with some people of higher ranks who come with their entourage, and then you had to make sure that was accounted for. um, yeah, so as when you deploy as a 42, you definitely learn a lot, and it's a whole totally different experience based off of your specialty. Like mine specifically, I'm airborne qualified, but I am not a mail handler. I do not have that. I do not have that Fox 5 qualification for mail. So I was in charge of soldiers. I was not in charge of accounting for soldiers. I was not in charge of like mail or anything of that. So it's different aspects of 42 Alpha, which the mail route, I would say if you could get that Fox 5 school, even though I don't regret becoming airborne, get that Fox 5 school, go for it, because also that certification could be worth a lot if you do get out of the military. You could work for, UPS, Postal Service, and that's also a very good look if you do get out.
Okay. So I mean, since we're on that topic, how does a 42 Alpha transfer over into the civilian world? Right? Does it transfer over other than the Fox 5? I mean, can you break that down for me a little bit?
Yes, so it does transfer over. However, I do say as a 42 Alpha, I believe you can make more money in the civilian sector if you get leadership experience before you get out. You could become a human resource manager, whether that's for an agency, that could be inside of a hospital, which is something I would personally aim for. But you can make a lot of at least $100,000 or more if you have that managerial experience. So that's what they're going to be looking at as a 42 Alpha. So I would suggest at least going for that NCO rank, or that officer rank before you get out. Get that managerial experience, so when you get out, you could have a better chance of making more money as a 42 Alpha, and not just getting the typical administrative assistant or typical human resource specialist job, which you can make decent money. I would say like 50,000, 60,000, but it's not going to be as high as if you would get that managerial experience.
Okay. Okay. Um, so is there anything that you would like to change about your job, or I mean, you like it the way it is?
Um, Still, a 42 Alpha job, at times, it definitely feels like you might feel undermanned because we have so many different types of responsibilities that we have to focus on. So, of course, I'm sure like every MOS in the Army, just like, oh, I wish we had a better MTO, which is just like authorization for the amount of soldiers we could have for our MOS, because there's so many different things and different things we're involved in, and so many different responsibilities we have to focus on. But I'm sure every MOS feels that way. But I would just say authorization of how many
Authorization.
were authorized.
Okay. Okay. Um, so running into the last couple of questions, what are your plans after your contract? Do you plan on staying in? Do you want to, break into that NCO rank? Do you want to go to an officer, be an AG officer? Like, so what are your plans?
So I did get selected for the September OCS board. So I'm just waiting for a school date to go to OCS.
Or
Yes, that's my next step. Go to OCS school, try to do the best that I could do, so I could get some good branch options, and then go from there long term. Long term, I know now for the 2019 candidates, you're allowed to choose medical service corps.
Oh,
as
you
your wish
are?
list. Yes, you are. Um,
Wow.
it wasn't available for 2018 candidates. I don't know how it's going to work for us when we go to school. If they're going to allow us to choose when we get there, what's going to be those options? I'm going to see about that. But for the 2019 candidates, that's good for them. You guys could do your wish list and go for the medical service corps. But I'm going to see what my options are when I get there and
What?
go from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The new
Wasn't there when
semester,
I went there a couple
19.
years ago. Eh,
Yes.
okay. Uh, all right. Very last question. I just get over my jealousy here. Are
How
there any are there any words of wisdom for individuals looking to get into this job? You know, is there anything you would tell prospecting civilians or people looking to reclass into your job?
Yeah, if you choose 42 Alpha, I would say not even just for 42 Alpha, for everybody, um, look into your education benefits, try to get your education. I would say also just look into bonuses, asking your recruiters about bonuses and different opportunities you get, whether that's airborne, whether that's Fox 5 school, um, and also just making sure that you're joining for the right reasons and don't rush into it. Um, but if you're in long term looking for any career field that's surrounded around that human resources field, I would say go for it. 42 Alpha could be the right job for you.
Okay, okay. All right then. Thank you, Miss Hines. I appreciate it. That's about all the questions I got for you. I appreciate your time. Uh, and for everybody out there on YouTube, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you guys can hit me up on Snapchat at Clop95, Instagram at KidThunder2. Everything will be in the description. And you guys watch out because she's about to be an amazing officer. You know, she's about to get some good branches when she gets in there, guys. More selection than I did back in my day when I went to OCS. Um, anyway, YouTube, like I always like to say at the end of all my videos, don't live the same year 75, 80, 85, 90 times and then try and call it a life. Uh, this is Dom and Miss Hines, and we will catch you guys later. You guys have a good one.